Like my other class spotlight videos, this video focuses on BX and old school essentials, the most common rules base for most OSR games. The magic user is the rather clumsily named class that was renamed in later editions to Wizard. Magic users have poor combat abilities, the lowest of hit dice, and cannot wear armour or wield many weapons at all, only daggers in fact. Some DMs may house rule additional weapons for magic users to use, and Rules Cyclopedia provides a list of additional weapons that can be considered, including staves and slings. Magic users are, of course, not designed for combat. What they have at their disposal instead is powerful magic, which can potentially change the tide of battle dramatically. Magic users begin at level 1 with only a single spell, meaning their contribution to battle at early levels is limited. They are very fragile at early levels, but as they increase in level, they become exponentially more powerful than the other classes. A high-level magic user is much more terrifying than a high-level fighter. The challenge is surviving until those high levels. One could consider the magic user as an advanced class to play, as so much care must be taken in avoiding damage at early levels. It is necessary for the rest of the party to help protect the magic user. The magic user is an investment which will pay off at later levels. The most notable part of the magic user is obviously his spells. At first level, the magic user has only a single spell. This spell is written in the magic user's spellbook, which must be read from when preparing his spells. The spellbook is not required in casting the spells, though. According to both OSE and the basic rules, the number of spells known by the magic user is the same as the number they can cast, meaning 1 first level spell at first level, 2 first level spells at second level, and so on. The implication is that the magic user can never have more spells in his spellbook than he can cast in a day. But this is up to the DM to interpret. I personally allow the magic user to accumulate more spells than he could cast in a single day, though finding these spells is still a challenge. Magic users can add new spells to their spellbook through magical research, including spells of their own devising, with the DM's permission. Researching new spells requires 1,000 gold pieces per spell level and 2 weeks of work, a very expensive endeavour at early levels. The DM should choose the player's spells, but the DM may decide to let the player choose. Your DM may decide that you should roll randomly to determine your starting spell. Have you ever played in a game where the DM chose the spells for you? It's an odd idea which probably will not be pleasing to most players. Each day a magic user can memorize spells, and the spell will be remembered until cast or until replaced by a newly memorized spell. Upon leveling up, the magic user will gain a new spell from his tutor by spending a week learning a new spell. The player has no control over which spell this will be. Otherwise, they can research a new spell of their choice, which takes 2 weeks per spell level, and as mentioned previously, 1,000 gold pieces per spell level, with a 15% chance of failure. Casting spells requires freedom to gesture, speak, and for most spells, line of sight to the target. Some spells allow a saving throw from the target, and if so, this is specified in the spell description. Casting spells requires concentration, and the magic user cannot move or take any other actions on the round in which they cast a spell. If the caster is disturbed or takes damage from an attack, then the spell fails and is lost. Even at first level, the magic user has access to some very significant spells. The 2 most powerful are Sleep and Charm Person. Sleep can affect 2d8 hit dice of creatures, or a single creature up to 4+1 hit dice, such as an ogre. The subjects are put to sleep for 4d4 turns, that's an average of 100 minutes, and once asleep can be instantly killed. This spell is great for getting rid of rooms full of low hit dice creatures such as goblins. Charm Person is another fantastic spell, but it doesn't affect many monsters. The subject gets to make a saving throw when the spell is cast, but if he fails, he is under the influence of the magic user, who he considers his friend. Once charmed, the victim may make further saving throws depending on his intelligence, but the subject could be under the influence of the magic user for months. Note that the Charm Person spell is not a mind control spell. The victim still has a degree of autonomy over his actions. However, he considers the magic user to be his friend, and will follow commands from the magic user so long as the command is not suicidal or against the creature's alignment. Here's a couple of house rules you may want to consider. Detect magic and read magic in the spellbook for free. They should be known by all casters as part of their basic training. Alternatively, read magic could be turned into a language, perhaps called Arcana, that only magic users can read. In summary, the magic user class is not particularly complex in its abilities. The complexity arises from the effects of the spells and the choice of spells available to the player. Preparing the right spells for upcoming situations is the difficulty that the player will face. Obviously, the player will be challenged with keeping the fragile wizard alive, so make sure you stay on friendly terms with the party's fighters. Let me know about your experiences playing magic users in OSR games, and what are your favourite spells to prepare at first level. If you'd like to support the channel, subscribe, leave a comment, and you can pick up one of my books at DriveThruRPG. And as always, thanks for watching.